Hello guys, and welcome back to Amakadal online training. My name is Nita, your physical and online instructor. Okay, so today we're going to be taking our bag making class, and I'm going to be making a box bag, but it's a quick one. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. And to all those that have subscribed to this channel, I want to say thank you. I really, really do appreciate it. And for those that haven't, please do subscribe to my channel, and do also turn on your notification bell, so whenever I upload new videos, you get notified. Okay. Like I have said earlier, it's not just dressmaking on this channel anymore. We do bag making, we do craft, everything, on this channel. Okay, so this is a quick one. It's going to be as fast as anything. All right, so I have a box here I already had cut out, right? So you can get any container, like maybe a coffee box, coffee cup box, a teacup box, something like. You can also create. So if you don't have this box, then you can create. This is a carry board I'm using. So if you have any carry board or a carton, it doesn't necessarily have to be a carry board. A carton, you can use it to also create a box like this. I will also show you that. Okay. I have my fabrics I'm going to be working with. I have the checkered fabric. I have the black fabric. I'm going to be using it to cover the body of this. Okay. And then I have my gum. These are just my working tools. I'm going to be using my gum as well. Okay. I have my scissors as usual, my tape. It's supposed to be somewhere along on my neck anyway, but you'll see that. Okay. I have my bottom cup. I intend to put a bottom cup to this. Hopefully, I hope. I'll decide at the end of the day, but I have it here just in case I want to make use of it. I have my rings, right? So these are my rings. I'm going to be using that as well. And these are my this is my handle. I have my handle. I have my beads as well. I may likely use it because I have red here, and I kind of think that I would want to use it to design the bag. All right. So having shown you all these things we are going to be using, like I said, it's just a quick one. It's like a DIY, so you can actually do it yourself. All right. So I'll push all these aside. Please don't get distracted by all this, and we'll focus on this. Like I said, you can create this, but I have a box already. So what I did was just to cut open. So cut open. You can use my measurement or you can use your measurement, but I'll give you a sort of measurement to work with. So I'll be right back. Okay, so welcome back. All right. Like I had said, I have a box I'm working with, right? Now, this is the width of my box, like here to here, and this is the length of my box. Okay, so for the width, I'm using about 6¼ Like I said, you can use more. It all depends on what you want. And then for the length is like the height of the bag this time around. For the height of the bag, I'm taking about 4¼ So the width, like the full of this part, is 6¼ You can use 6½. And then for the height, from the top of the table to the height of the box, is going to be, it's about 4¼ You can use more or you can use less. So when you take this measurement, of course, whatever you have on this side is the same thing that is here. What you have here is the same thing that is here. Then you can now cut it open. What you need is this whole space inside. Why I had to take this is that some people may not have the patience to create a box. All right. So if you don't just take what you have at home and cut it open, taking those measurements I have just told you. All right. So I have that. So now I've done that. You're going to reinforce it. So what I'm using to reinforce is I just put my tape all around it. So just put your tape around just to give it that solid firmness, right? So that it doesn't get easily squeezed and all that. Okay. So having done that, I now had to also cut out some form of boxes I'm going to use. Now, to get this box you're seeing here, I had to use the measurement of this round. Okay. So what I did was to take a measurement from here to here, right? From here to here. So everything here is 13 inches, okay? To this point is 13 inches. So having measured this, I now divided. So I now need from here to here, which is from here to here. At the bottom part from here to here is here, and then the last side is here. So that's just basically, you know, what I have done, because this is going to sit, in this box this way. All right, but I'm going to create another box so that it will give it that firmness that I want. So the other box I'm going to create will be slightly shorter. You know, it's going to be about 1 inch, 1.5 inches. All depends on, you know, what I want. So, but for me, I think 1 inch is just perfectly fine. All right, it's going to be 1 inch shorter than the main box itself. It's just to give it that firmness. Okay. So you have seen that what I have used to cut this is the measurement of this round. And what I used to cut this, see, I cut it now from here to here is the measurement you have at this part, okay? This is a smaller side. So you take this across measurement and you take the height measurement. That is what I have used to get this. So the height measurement, the across measurement, and I now added some 1/2 inch extension to the sides, right? Because it's going to help me close the box. So this, you're going to have 2 of it, okay? So I have 2 pieces of this and I have 1 of this. So this same box, I'm going to create it using this, all right? But before I do that, I'm going to have to wrap this up, because it's going to sit on the inside, so I'll be getting it wrapped. So that's basically all about these boxes, all right? So what I have done is to cut out a piece of fabric that I'm going to use to wrap this up, and I've also cut out another fabric that I'm going to use to wrap this body. So just use your box, place it like this. See what I'm doing? Place it on the fabric, okay? Turn it in, and then use that to get the length, all right, of what your fabric is going to be like. That's just what I did. And then just get a height, make it more. Remember I said we're going to push in here, so I need like 2 inches extra that we're going to use to push in, and just a little here, you know, just 1 inch is fine at the bottom part of it. So that's the other fabric you need. And for this, I just cut a black piece of fabric, just a long piece that I have cut for that. And then for the back, where I'm going to cover the bottom with, that's it. So I just cut something that will fit in there. That's basically what I did. And then I cut a fabric piece we're going to use to cover it up, okay? So after doing that, we're going to start putting together our fabric. So we'll start with this, then I'll now show you what we are going to put on the inside, all right? So what I'm going to do now is open up, is what I'm going to use to cover this up, all right? So you know what's your inside. This is going to be the inner part of my fabric, and I want to cover it up, all right? So you place it, spread, put your gum. You can use your gum, you can use your hot glue gum as well. I have it lying down here, but I'm just okay with this. Okay, so but before I do this, please don't forget you're going to cut off 1 inch from that whole length that you have. So I'll do that and I'll show you. Okay, so what I've tried to do here is spread gum around this, okay? So having done that, I'm going to cut it, all right? So you don't you can cut like 3/4 of an inch, whatever works for you is fine, okay? You can also make it 1 inch. Right? So I'll just cut that out. And cut it just 1/4 as well, just very close to where you've spreaded your gum to. Okay? Right. So having done that, you're going to fold it over, right? So please, at the angles, just fold it in a way that I'm just folding it at a corner so I can cut it off. done. So having done that, just trim off the ears. So you can actually also put a gum here to actually make sure that you put that down. All right, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to cover this, all of this, the same way, and I'll show you. Okay guys, so that's, I just wanted to show you is exactly what I did there, that I'm also doing for this. Please, if you have your hot glue gum, you can actually use that as well. You know, I just work a lot with gum, so I think I'm just used to the gum thing. Okay, so that's it. So when you're done, cut it out at 1/4 inch. I'll do that and show you now. Okay guys, so you can see I have wrapped everything. I'm trying to create a box like that. I've wrapped the sides. All right, so what you're going to do now is apply, I just want to trim off, so any excess fabric you have, please trim it off. Okay? So like I had said earlier, you can actually use your hot glue gum as well, but I am a fan of my gum, so I'm just perfectly okay with it. Okay, so see what I'm trying to do. I'm now applying my gum at this part because I want to glue. Not too much, just enough. So where I'm going to be putting the other one to, that's where I'm applying this gum. Okay, so don't forget it's like this, right? And I want to put this here, so just apply the gum enough at the point this is going to be sitting. And so for the wings I have created, these are the 1/2 inch I did. Okay, I'm going to apply my gum. Like if you have any excess of fabric, please just trim it off. All right, so I'm also applying my gum on all the wing parts. So you're going to do all that and then I'll show you. Okay, so once you've done that and you allow your glue to, or your gum to dry up a little, just adding a bit of gum here. Where you think it's not stuck down, you put in your gum. I'm just using my spreader to press down that. Okay. So once you're done with this, it's now to fold it the way you want it to sit. All right, so you're going to pick that. So for the wing parts, I forgot to say this. Please make sure that your gum is being applied on the inside, not on the outside. Okay, so just apply, but be careful that it's just at the 1/2 inch place where the folding is. See, I'm folding it as I'm applying, so that I'm not passing the point I'm meant to, fix it. So leave it to dry. Leave it to dry for a while before we now fix it in. Okay, so like I said, when you apply your gum, leave it to dry a bit. When you do that, it just allows you work faster. Okay, so I had marked the ones I'm using for whichever side. Okay, so having done this, remember we have these wings, the 1/2 inch that we had put there. So I'm going to start fitting them in. Okay, so I place this, you're going to fold this over and place it. See what I'm doing? I'm placing it at the point of the 1/2 inch. So you're going to hold it. I fold this over, same thing. Okay, so make sure that your edges stay in. This is the back. this is the down part. Also make sure that your edges stay in. Okay, so look at that. I've been able to get one side of it. So see, it's giving us the box shape already. So if you want to create your box, this is how you're going to do it. Like I said, please allow your gum dry as much as possible. It works better that way. But why I prefer working with gum is that, to me, I think it lasts more than the hot glue gum. That's my own experience. Everybody, can try out theirs, all right? Okay. So when I'm done with this part, the more it dries, the more it sticks on. Okay. I'll do the same thing here. Put it, fix this at the 1/2 inch as well. Try to set your corners right. Okay. So with this, I've been able to teach you how to create your own box. So what's the difference? There's no difference from this box. So I've just created my box. Okay, so this is it. Like I said, the more you leave it, the gum to dry, the more it's going to stick. So if I was working with leather, I would actually skive the edges. I would have actually skived the edges to make it more lighter, so that way it will stick. But even with this, I'm very okay with what I have. I can still skive if I choose to. I will likely skive after it is dry. Okay, so once I have this ready, because this is actually going to be sitting inside here, now it's going to give the fabric we're going to put here more fitting. All right, so let's keep that aside to keep drying, and then we'll start working with this. So what we are going to do here is take our measurements. Okay, so I'm going to take a measurement first of all of this part to this edge, because we're going to see how we will be able to cover up this box. Okay, as in putting a fabric inside, I'll create the bag itself. So from here, please, I'm using working with CINCHER. I'm going to take a measurement to this part of the box. Okay, and I have 23 cm. So you're going to write it down, right? 23 cm. All right. Then I'm going to take a measurement around the box. The first one I've taken is the height part. I started from down and I came to the end, the other mouth here, all right? So the second one I'm going to take now is from here, and I'm going to wrap it all around the box. Please take your own box measurements, okay? And I have about 57, okay? I'll take it. It's supposed to be 56 here, but I'll do 57. I added like 1 cm, so I have 57. Okay, so I'll write here 57. Okay, so the formula we're going to work with is that we're going to be having at 23, the height you took round will be times 2 inches. Okay, and we're going to have at 57 the circumference you took round plus 3 cm. All right, so we have the height as 23 plus, please take your own height, times 2 cm. And we have the circumference round 57 plus 3 as cm. So whatever you have, 23 times 2, we're going to be having 46 cm. And 57 plus 3, we're going to be having 60 cm. Whatever you have in yours, this is going to be the amount of fabric you're going to cut for the inner part of this bag, all right? So this is that fabric I have cut. And my fabric here is 60 by 46. 60 by 46. So please cut your own size, whatever you have gotten as your result. Okay, so I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, and I'm going to the part that is 46, the lesser part, I'm going to just hem it both sides. I'll hem here, and I'm going to hem here as well. So I'll do that, and then I'll bring it and show you what next. Okay, Okay, so I've been able to hem, that. So like I said, the shorter part, this is longer part, all right? So I'm going to now fold it over this way. Okay? So I'll fold it over this way, take it back to the sewing machine, okay? And I'll run my stitch at a quarter of an inch. You can run it at half of an inch, it's also fine, all right? But I want to do a quarter of an inch. So any 1/4, half is still fine. So please just run the stitch. When you do that, push it to the right side and iron it properly. Okay, so I've ironed it. All right, so I sewed this part. I turned it. This is it on the inside. So please, you can as well weave it just to make sure that you don't have any loose stitches. So I'm actually still going to do that. Then flipped it out, and then ironed it down. Okay. Now this is the top part that is on fold. There is no cut on this part, and this is the down part. Okay. So from that part that you don't have any cut on, you're going to measure inwards. Okay, 5 cm. Okay, and then you're going to keep enough allowance for your elastic. So normally what I do is at that point I just flip over and keep half an inch, all right, because my elastic is half of an inch. So if your elastic is 1 inch, please keep 1 inch at that point. So I'm going to mark that all the way down. So please, no matter what you do, let that line be enough for you to feed in your elastic, all right? So you're going to go to the machine and stitch on those lines. Just stitch on those 2 lines all the way from top to bottom, top to bottom. So I'll stitch that and bring it back and show you. So I had to leave my chalk mark so you'd still see it, okay? Once I place my iron on it or any heat, it will go off. So I have done that, all right? I've stitched on that line. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is fold it over this way. So once I've folded over this way, I'm going to stitch, right? I'll stitch from here and I'll stop here, and I'll start from here and I will take it to the end. So I'm just sealing this place, but I am not touching this place, please. Stitch from here to here, stop, from here to here, and that is that. So I'll do that and I'll show you. Okay, so I'm done with that. So like I said, why I said when you stitch, see, stitch, stop somewhere here so that you leave. Remember that that hole we left is for us to be able to feed in our elastic. That was the essence of that hole. That's why I said please don't close that point, because that's where we're going to feed in our elastic. So that's it. So I've sewn to this, stopped here, and I sewed down. All right, so we're now going to come to this. So we now need to wrap this. So remember we had cut our long piece and I said you're going to keep it this way, wrap it, okay, take into consideration what you're keeping here, fold this in and wrap that. So you can actually still use your hot glue gun, but I, as usual, I'm going to be working with my gun. So I'll apply that and I'll show you. Okay, so now I've applied my gun. I marked off 1 inch at the down parts, so that it's a guide for me. Okay, so I'm not pasting beyond where I want to. that's it. I had applied gum. I left it to dry off a bit. Okay. So at this part, I'll just take it in like half of an inch, so that it will give me a good finishing at that point, right? So if you take that in, you can apply gum at that edge so that it will stick to the other part. Or when you get there, you can leave applying the gum till you move your fabric to where you want to close it up. So anyone you want is fine. Okay? So until you find out where it's going to meet here. So keep pulling it so that you make sure that it is straight. It really, really needs to stay flat. Alright? So that's why I said you can leave folding it until you get to this point. So once you get there, now I'm going to take a measurement as well. Okay. So I'll take a measurement, which I had not anyway. So because I just cut a piece of fabric. So arrange your stuff. So getting here, I can now decide, okay, I just want it to stop somewhere here, so I can actually cut this. So I've cut that a bit off. So once you do that, you're going to have to fold this in. As I said, if you want to use a hot glue gun, please, you can. Okay, so I'm going to have to fold this in. So I'm going to apply gun, do that, and show you. So you can also put your hand under the board. Okay, I'm just trying to pull that so that it just goes in there. So you can put your hand, and please, when you're working with glue, gum, elbow stick, be very, very careful, because you can as well, end up spoiling your. So you have to be extremely careful. Okay, so just make sure this is all flat and sitting pretty. Okay, so you can now come to the down part and apply your gum. All right, so I'll do that just the same way I did to the other part. Okay, so since I've kept it for a long time, when you get to the edges, like I used to say, please just make it like an angle thing. Okay, so pushing it down in an angle form. Right. Same thing here. So once you're done with that, you can now trim it off. So I've been able to reduce the bulk at that part. Okay, so that part is done. So the remaining thing there is to cover it up. Okay, so I'm going to be covering up that part with this. Okay, so I'm going to cover up this so that I can finish up that part. Please, when you're cutting, be very careful that it's not so close to the edge. Okay, so that can stay aside. Pending that, I'll just apply gum here to hold this edge together. So that once I'm ready to work with it, it's not going to be giving me any issues. So I can do that and then I'll leave it. So the next thing I'm going to do is cover this up. So I'll cover this up and then I'll show you. Okay. So I've been able to cover, the part I'm going to put on the back. All right. So having done that, okay, I'll just close this. Remember, I had put on gum here just to close that part. All right. So now this back, I'm going to take this to cover over this part. So if you want to put on a bottom cup, you can. I just brought it out to show you. So I may not put, I don't know, but I'm about covering this. So to cover this, put on your gum here and put it here as well, and you'll leave it to dry. Okay, so I've applied my gum, but please be careful that you're just aligning it where you know that the cover, the bottom cover is actually going to sit. So I also did same to the bottom. So you're going to try to, paste it. So I'm starting at one end, making sure that all the edges, it's like pushed inside. And then I'll bring it to the other part too and try to push all the edges inside properly before sticking that down, because I don't want it to show. I'll do the same thing here, make sure that everything is inside properly. So once you've done that, put your hand on the inside and then press it. You're also going to make use of you can make use of your hammer at this point, to just give it that, or your mallet. It's just to give it that hold, okay, down. So that's basically the back is ready. So this is what the inside looks like, right? Okay, so we're now going to push this to the inside. So this is what you're going to have on the inside. Okay? So you can actually apply your gum and let it stick down. So I'll do that now and we're almost done. Okay, so what I did was just apply a bit of gum around it. Like I said, you can use your hot glue gun as well, it works, all right? So having done that, I can now push this inside. So see what I've done? So I have knitted. So what's left is for us to pick this and then put it in here. Our box bag is almost ready. All right, so I'll keep this aside. I'll pick this up and I'll just apply my gum around it. Okay, so I'll apply the gum around it and I'll show you. Okay, so I've applied gum right round, just round the body. Okay, so how I'm going to fix this in, I know that it's going to be sitting this way, all right? So I'm now going to wear this fabric over it, all right? See, please, the part that you had the joining, that's the part that is down. So I'll gently, this part that I'm going to be having the elastic on is the part I'm putting at the corner. Just try and make it stay at that corner, okay? This open, okay? So we're going to put gum at the base, right? So you can put gum at the base and a little bit at the top, just before this. So you're putting gum a bit around this, all right? Because we are going to be fixing this in on this, all right? So that the gum at the base, when this gets there, is going to stick. This will stick to this, so no matter what, it doesn't move, okay? So I'm going to apply gum round. So why I did this box was so that it will really, fit in. Of course, by now you know how you want your bag to sit, right? You're going to try to push this, okay, into the other box, this other box we've created, right? Okay, so guys, eventually I am at the final stage. So see what, I don't know, but that's what the inside looks like, okay? So I'm just trying to use the gum the hot glue gun now to make it really sit. Okay guys, so I'm sorry about all the noise around, but we just have to get this done, all right? So I'm just showing you a second method, right, of fixing By the way, this is the other bag, box bag that we are doing, right? So this one we had done like a complete box to fit it inside. That's what we have on the inside, though you can't really see that perfectly well, but that's what we have on the inside, like a complete box, right? But for this one, this is like the second method, you don't need to. So what I did was just to calculate everything round, right? So I'm not creating a complete box, I'm just creating something like this, okay, that I'm going to just put it inside here. So that's what I have done. So you can just create whatever works for you, all right? So let's keep this aside. So I'm going to cover the box and I'll show you the casing and show you how we are going to fix it. Okay, so I've been able to wrap the fabric around it, and this is what we are going to be having. So I'm just creating a box, but without a base that I'm going to fit in. So I'm going to glue this part, gum this part down before I now bring it. So this is actually going to be staying inside here. Okay. So I've also applied gum right to the back of it, the one I'm putting inside. So this is the second method I'm showing you now. So this is the one that is going in. So I've also applied gum at the back side so that by the time I close it and drop it inside, it's going to gum it down. So I'll show you as I'm about gumming it. So I'm about putting it inside now. So like I had said earlier, this is the way it is going to sit. Like I've not yet glued it because I want to try and fix it in before I now glue the sides. So if you want to, you can still glue it. It doesn't really matter as long as you're able to, fit it in. So I'm going to just drop this. So try and drop this and make it sit on the inside. So I'll do that and I'll show you. Okay guys, so I've been able to, that's what I did. You can see the inside. So I have the black around it. So that is it. So it's good to put it to wedge it. So it's just the second, way I showed you. I showed you one way with this. This has fully inside, so you can see the same fabric, on the inside. But for this now, I'm going to be using black as the base. So I'm going to measure what I have here, create a base. Okay, no, I'm going to use this fabric as a base, create a base and put it inside. So I'll do that and I'll show you. Okay guys, so I've put a base to it now. So what I did was have black around it and have the base to be the same color with the newspaper print, alright? So the next thing we are going to do is put our elastic on this. So you can actually use black, depends on what you want. Remember where we sewed the two lines, okay? Where we made the two stitches that I said make a stitch here and a stitch here. We're going to feed an elastic through it. I did that with this, so I used black. You can also use black here. It all depends on what you want. I think black goes as well, or this, or white. So you can actually check, how much you're going to use and how much you want it to drop. Remember, we need to drop, you're going to drop some and probably make a design on it if you want, so you're going to have something like that and create your design on it. So if you're able to take notes how much you want it to drop, then you can just cut. So like I said, if you look at the white, most times what I do is place it this way. If I place this and I think the white is okay, I'll go with the white. So guys, I put a safety pin on the elastic, and remember we left some holes while we were stitching, so I'm going to feed this through that hole. So just basically feed your elastic through the hole you have left open. That's what I'm doing right now. and bring it out on the other side. So I've been able to bring it out on this side. Okay guys, so I have fed, so see how it's looking, isn't it pretty? Okay, so I fed the elastic through it, which you're going to do. All right, so see, you can actually add some designs here, which I will. So I have these two lovely looking box bags ready for your party. Okay, so now we have for the handle. Okay, so I'm going to try to decide what goes for what, and we are going to create a handle for it. Okay guys, so I'm just cutting a strip. Now this little strip of 2 inch, which I'm going to fold, is for this tiny ring. I'm using this tiny ring for this bag, the newspaper print bag. Okay, and then I'll be using this for the checkered box bag. All right, so for this one I'll do big, I'll make it bigger than 2, so you can make 3 inches, just strips to fit into your rings. So that's what I'll prepare that. So once I cut it out, I'll fold it this way and I'll stitch it down. So I'll do that and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, so you can now pick up your box bag and mark where you want your handle to be, right? Now listen, this is the longer part, this is the shorter part. So my handle is going to come from this shorter part. Okay, so I want to centralize it, so you can actually measure what you have here, take everything you have and then find the center. Okay? So you can just find the center. All right, so from that center you can now come down to where you want the strap to come from. Okay, so in my own case is 1 1/4. Okay, so I'll mark one. You can actually anything you want to use, it's perfectly fine. Okay, so I'm taking 1 1/2 because my chain is really long. So your chain, how long your chain is, will probably determine how low you go. So I'm doing 1 1/2 at the center. Okay, so that is it there. So I'll mark the same thing for all the other ones. Okay guys, so this is it, right? My ring. So just take it. I had put, since I'm working with gum, you can work with your hot glue gun and all that. Just see what I'm doing. Just place it. All right, I had already placed my gum on it. I know gum can be a bit funny, so that's just it. All right, so I have that here. I've done the same thing for this, and actually I'm almost done, because if you don't want to do any other accessorization like I'm doing, just take your chain, right, or whatever you want to use. I'm using a chain. I already bought this. Okay, so if there's no other thing that you're going to be adding, and you realize that our bag is ready, so like the only other thing I'll add, I may add something to this just to give it that look. Just accessorize your bag, and this is going to be the chain. So for that, all right, and for this, sorry, it's an elastic, and then that fabric is really soft. All right, so for this I'm using a silver chain. Okay, so whatever you're using, sorry, it's a bit tangled, so I did a smaller because this chain is actually quite small, so you need a really tiny small ring for it. All right, so like I said, you can do a whole lot of stunts with your bag. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix that in. So as you can see, I was able to get 2 bags done. So that's the chain for this. Okay, So that's it. So I'm going to accessorize it as well and just do all sorts of things to it. All right, so whatever you choose to do after this, please go ahead and do it. So see how lovely it's looking. Very lovely, very lovely. I'm loving my box bags, and I hope you get yours done as well. All right, so you'll see the picture of the finished work when I am totally done, because I may be adding these beads to it. All right, or this to it, so you can do as much as you want to. So as always, it's been a Macadel online training, and I have been your physical and online instructor. My name is Nita. And for those that have subscribed to my channel, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And for those that haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel, okay? And then set on your notification bell, so whenever I upload videos, you will see. Like I had said earlier, I'll be bringing on bags, clothes, and all that. Incidentally, this is going to be going with the shirt, okay? So I believe I'm going to be making that shirt, for this online class. So better watch out and set that notification, on. Put it on, because you wouldn't want to miss this shirt. I'm actually going to I can't even explain it enough. You just need to make sure you don't miss that video when I upload it. It's actually going to be going with this bag as well. All right, so like I always say and I always advise, I know you already know how to do this, but I believe you must have learned one thing or the other from here. No knowledge is lost. It's an added advantage, so pick whatever you want and still add on to what you already know. That's what this is all about. We learn every day. I learn every day, and I bet you I enjoy everybody's classes, because I learn a thing or two and I add it to what I am doing as well. All right, so it's been nice having you in my class, and if you need more, probably you're not clear, wherever you're not clear, please send me a message down below, okay, and I will come around to answer all your questions. Okay, so have you a very blessed time, and see you in my next class.